So okay, we're recording. Everyone behave themselves. No, I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. Okay, so tonight we're gonna do really breaking down convention contests. But I want to talk to you guys a little bit about just the goal in and of itself, because the goal that I want you to set isn't for the things. It's not for whatever it is you decide on. It's for the action that goes with that. So I want to make sure that you guys hear from my heart. Like, it is not, I don't want you to feel shamed or like you shouldn't have, or that you have to be too humble to say, I'm going for the top 20 or the 2K or the winner's dinner or whatever it is for you, because it's not about that thing. It's about the work and the action and the grind and the growth that you put in to get there. Just like when I tell you guys, when we're talking about our whys, and, you know, we're all here to help people and make a difference. But there's a reason that you're doing this and not volunteering at the library. That's also making a difference. And so I want to dig deeper on that. And this convention contest is the same way. The prizes are there to help you grow. It's not just the thing, if that makes sense. So I want to make sure that we talked about that. And then what I want you guys to do, we're actually going to break this down into some work that you can do here on the call and some work that you're going to have to do after the fact. Okay. So the first thing I will tell you, if you've done convention contests before, the credits are high. Like, when I first saw them, I was like, wait, what? They're high. But they have assured us that we will see that number come much more into reality because of the retention credits for everything that they're offering us, and the double credits in January. So we should see our first numbers come out on, I think it was February 1st or 2nd. It will show up in your back office in that screen where contests are. So if this is your first contest, when you go into your back office and you see those big 4 squares of PV and points, if you scroll down just a little bit over to the left, it will update your points, and it's supposed to update them daily. Sometimes in previous contests, it will take a couple days to update. So the very first thing that I want you guys to do, have you all seen the convention voucher for flyer thing so that you know what the prizes are? Okay, so the first thing I want you to write down is what your goal is. Okay, so I'm going to share mine with you guys, and then I will welcome you to share. You do not have to. Because of the difference, so I have always wanted the $2,000 check. I mean, the actual money is great. I want the check. I know that sounds funny. I want like the actual like big check. I don't know why. I know it's weird. And I have gotten close twice and I've never earned it. So that is that's my goal, is the 2,000 cash. Black Tie Gala is probably more within reach. So I just want you guys to know how big my goals are. Black Tie Gala is probably what's doable, but I'm going for the $2,000 cash. So does anyone else kind of want to put out in the universe what their goal is? Okay, you don't have
my
to.
goal. I'm going to.
Okay.
My goal is also the $2,000 cash, and it's also the same reason. I want the big ticket. Yeah. I want that big thing, and also because I did not make Black Tie Gala last year, or did I? Now I can't remember. I didn't the first year, but I did last year.
You did last year.
I did last year. So I already did that, so I want to go on. So I'm going to push myself a little bit further.
Okay.
So.
Anybody else want to share? It's
a dream, but the black tie gala just so I can wear a dress.
Yes.
A fancy dress.
Yes. And it is so fun. I will tell you guys, and I'm saying this like from actual experience of seeing people in the room, brand new people can and do hit winner's dinner. So if you're reaching for less than winner's dinner, I'm going to encourage you to push that up, especially because of the retention points. So we have had brand new people every year on our team earn winner's dinner. And it's a very normal thing to see at winner's dinner. So that's a great goal. If you guys, have not set one, or if you were looking lower than that, keep that as sort of your big scary goal. Okay. So here's how we're going to break it down. I'm going to encourage you guys to print off the actual flyer because you will use it so much in the next 4 months. I can't even tell you. But there are some things within the contest that you can control. And so that's going to help you kind of gauge where your points are coming from and where to put the majority of your work and your time. Okay. So the first thing that I want you to look at is breaking down your PV, your personal volume. You get 20 credits a month for $200 to $499. From $500 to $999, you get 75, and 1,000 or more, you get 125. That includes your own orders. So you do have the ability to control that to an extent. I don't know very many people that if you're at 100 PV are going to be able to knock out 500 personally, but maybe. But you can control it to some degree, and usually our businesses are pretty stable PV wise. And so I want you guys to write down whichever criteria fits your business the best and multiply that times 4 and kind of circle that number of credits as that's your goal in the area of PV to be able to reach that goal every month. Okay, then is everybody ready? Let me know if you need more time. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is personal rank advancements. If you are shooting for a rank in the next 4 months, and hopefully all of you are shooting for some sort of rank in the next 4 months, look at those credits. From silver, they go all the way to diamond. And if there are, let's say you're shooting for silver and gold's not out of the option or out of the range of possibilities either, you can receive the rank up credits for both silver and gold, or whatever those 2 levels are. You wouldn't just get the highest, you would get both ranks. So we're going to take just a minute and kind of think about where your vision is going in the next 4 months and give yourself a goal for that rank advancement, those rank advancement credits. As you're working on that, I want you to look at and also kind of factor in, you're going to get credits for maintaining your rank. So if you've like just recently hit a rank and the next one seems, a little too far away to hit in the time frame of this contest, you will receive a bonus of 50 credits each month that you maintain your prior month's rank. So that would be 200 points just for maintaining the rank that you currently are.
Jill?
Yes.
If you maintain like February I guess it'd be January, February, March, or whatever it is, and then you rank, do you get 50, 50, 50 rank, or is it the 300, or it would be, wouldn't it?
You would get your 50, 50, 50 rank.
Rank, right.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
And it is 4 months. The contest, it ends April 30th. So when you're doing the calculations, everything's times 4. Okay, then we have some extra bonus points. You have extra credits if you registered for Super Saturday. And I believe there was a difference between live stream and in person. Can anyone confirm that for me for sure?
I did live stream and it was 50.
Okay, so then it's the same. So
Okay.
if you registered for Super Saturday, you got 50 credits for that. If you registered for Renew you got 50 credits for that. And then if you earn your buds this month, if you enroll 3 people with a welcome pack, you'll earn not only your AirPods, but you will also earn an additional 25 convention credits. So if that's something that you're going for, add that additional 25 credits for that. Okay, where's everybody? How are you feeling about your credits so far?
What was the very first one?
Your personal volume, your PV.
Okay. But you said something times 4.
Yeah, so let's say that you feel really comfortable that you can get to 500 PV every month. So that's 75 credits. So you could do 75 credits times the 4 months of the contest to figure out how many total credits from your PV you're going to have for the contest.
Okay.
Does anybody kind of want to share what they have added up so far? I'm looking at, let's see, roughly, I didn't do some of them that we walked through, but I'm looking at roughly right around 1,000 credits of things that I can control. And that, like I said, that may be lower for you, but it's okay. So the next portions are the pieces where the work sort of comes in, and you have to kind of decide a combination of where your goals are, where your business, how it's balanced and leveled right now, and then sort of if you want to continue on that path or if you want to shift it in a different direction. So the first thing I want to talk about is developing silvers. Helping people develop silvers. What I want you guys to know about silvers is that doesn't necessarily mean that they are working the business. Helping people go silver means asking them to reach out to their friends and family to help them with accountability partners. It doesn't have to be, I'm all in and I'm going to work the business. The only thing that we say about that is that if you are helping people add people and your level ones don't want to work the business, make sure that you are connected to the people you're signing up so that you can help them through detox, talk to them about, the products and things like that. So when you develop a silver level 1, that is 50 credits. It's actually 50 credits in your levels 1, 2, and 3. So those are huge, huge points to be able to work with and really help people get started. This is a great time to look at silvers outside of the business because so many people are working on New Year's resolutions. They want to do that with accountability partners. They're more successful with friends. Those kinds of Those kinds of ways are great ways to help people get silver or add 3 friends without them necessarily having to be all in with the business. So that's another opportunity. And what I would say for silvers is not to write down credits, but to write down names. Write down names of people that you feel like either they have close friends that you know you can help, or that you know that they're ready to start sharing and be in the business. Write those names down. Okay, and then the last 3 sections, you have some control over, but the amount of work that you do in the next 3 categories will duplicate down and multiply for you. And so this is where it sort of takes on a life of its own, and where there's some things you can control and there's some things you cannot. The first one is new preferred and retail customers. So anytime that a level 1, 2, or 3 has a retail or preferred customer that orders $75 or more, it's a brand new person, there are points that are associated with that. It's 25 for a level 1, 20 for a level 2, and 10 for a level 3. It has to be at that 75 PV or $75 mark, which means if I remember right from the last contest, Slim is not quite enough. They'd have to have Slim and something else in order to hit that $75 mark. And that's one that you'll hear people ask, is it $75 or is it 75 PV? The customer and retail for preferred and retail customers is a dollar amount. So if you have some people on the fence, write their names in. And what I always do in this section too is I write down who my potentials are and do I think that they are leaning more towards ambassador or customer. But then I also write down, how does that relate to my goal this month? If I have 3 customers or 3 potentials and one's going to be an ambassador, I might write down, I want to get 2 more customers. So, you know, who would I reach out to? Who do I know that needs collagen? Customers are a little easier to engage with quickly because some people are just interested in one product, and that's okay. But it's a great way to give customers is a great place to give yourself a goal in. Okay, and then the last one is ambassador enrollments. Personal level 1s, 50 credits, level 2s, 40, 3s, 30, 4s, 20, and 5s, 10 credits. So those are amazing credits. I don't know that we've ever gone to level 5 with adding ambassadors for a contest. So that's pretty deep, which is good. But it also is doubled until the end of the month. So for every level 1 that you sponsor between now and the end of the month, you receive 100 credits. And all ambassadors also have retention credits. So let's say you're going to add 3 ambassadors. That's your goal before the end of the month. That's going to give you 300 credits plus a retention credit of 15 points times 4, which is 60 points. So that's an additional 60 points for each one of those 3 ambassadors. Somebody do that math for me. That's 180 points in retention of just your level 1s in the contest, plus the 100 credits for actually enrolling them times 3. So 180, that's 300 or 480 points for enrolling 3 ambassadors in January. That's pretty awesome. That pretty much gets you entered to win. That's your first prize by just adding 3 this month.
I hate to say that again, but can you go over that again? I lost me.
Yes. Okay. So ambassadors, let's say the only thing you can control is your level ones. The way that you work your 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s is to do it as a team, to get together on power hours and to, and encourage each other. But we're just going to focus on the level ones when we break down points, because that's what we can control today. When you start getting some momentum and February credits come in, you can kind of see where your level 2, 3, and 4 land and start to predict that a little bit. But right now we're going to just do level ones. So if your goal is 3 level ones this month, okay, with welcome packs, you're going to get 100 credits just for signing them up with a welcome pack, because we're getting double credits until January 26th. Okay, so 100 credits for 3 people, that's 300 credits just for signing those 3 people up. Then in addition to that, for every month following the enrollment of that ambassador, you are going to earn 15 credits on a level 1. So if you enroll a level 1 in January, that's 15 times 4, which is 60, just for 1 ambassador. So you are earning 160 credits off 1 ambassador that you sign in January. If you sign 3 of them, that's 160 times 3, just for signing 3 ambassadors in January. And if you signed up for Super Saturday or the Renew you've already hit your first prize just by signing up 3 people. So because of the retention piece, that's a really great way to show you sort of how it snowballs. And it will do that same thing in your levels 2 and your levels 3. And if you're just starting out, your levels 2s and your level 3s don't have to be because you have a business builder. That can be you're hosting a sip and see, and a friend brings 3 friends, and you sign their 3 friends up under them so that it helps pay for their products. I mean, it's as simple as that. So I don't want you guys to think, well, I don't have any business builders, and so I can't earn points on my levels 2 down. It is super simple to help people do that, and we're going to do some calls and videos and things on that over the course of the contest to kind of help you guys with that. But I wanted to just have you get started on really understanding how it can snowball and how important it is to just put that work in the beginning. And every year we have some sort of like retention incentive. Sometimes it's been customers, sometimes it's ambassadors, sometimes it's for silvers. But those retention points are really huge. And every year I always go back and go, man, had I just had 1 more customer in the month their retention started and gotten 4 full months of those points instead of 3 months or 2 months. So that would be my one really big, piece of advice in the contest is really, if you have fence sitters, now's the time to try to get them off the fence. I do want to go over a few of the details of the contest that typically come up throughout the contest, just to make sure that you guys have seen it. It is I'm going over the FAQs if any of you are wondering. So existing preferred customers, people that you already have, retail and preferred customers that enrolled before January 1st, they've been in your back office. If they upgrade to be an ambassador, they will count for those upgrade credits. So if you take a preferred customer and you upgrade them to an ambassador between now and the end of the month, you will get your 100 credits for them. They are just like signing a new ambassador. This one I'm waiting to hear more about because I haven't heard anything about it. I just highlighted it in the FAQs tonight. It says ambassadors within 6 months of their conversion date from ambassador to customer will not count towards the qualifications of the contest. It must be outside the 6-month period to qualify. So I think what that means is bringing back we call them dead accounts. Let's say you have an ambassador who hasn't ordered in a very, very long time. They're inactive. Instead of them using their dead account, enrolling them in a brand new account. That's what I think they're talking about. But I wrote a note next to that. I need to get some clarification on that, because I think that is going to come up in the course of the 4 months. And so I want to make sure, I want to make sure that we have that clarified. It is a $75 customer or retailer preferred in order for them to qualify in those two areas. It's not a PV amount. Let's see. It says that this one is confusing to me as well. Any ambassador or customer leads received as part of the Plexus Leads program will not apply towards new enrollment qualifications. But anything that they do once they are in your back office will qualify. So they won't count as a new person, but if they add someone on their team or a customer or whatever, then that new activity would count. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, developing silvers. When you develop a silver, those credits are not going to show up until after commissions close that month. So some credits are going to show up right away. Other credits are going to be when commissions close. I just try to really just keep track at that commission close date, because otherwise it gets crazy. I just always know that's the day to look at it. Let's see. We talked about maintaining rank. You're maintaining or exceeding your prior month's payment. Your maintain rank credits will also be when commissions close. This is something that I thought was really exciting. So after the $2,000 check, there are a couple of other prizes: the top 55, the top 20, and the top 10. So in the FAQs, it says, in the 2020 top 10 recognition, the special VIP recognition for the top 10 qualified ambassadors is based on personally sponsored preferred customers, personally sponsored ambassadors, and overall PV. So if this is your first contest, that is really exciting, because typically as you get into the more elite prizes, it typically goes to people who have ginormous teams, and that's fine. But this one really excited me because it is based on personal work, your personal business, not your team. And so I thought, really, that's up for grabs for anybody. Any team that is growing quickly, that top 10 recognition is up for grabs. Let's see. I think that was the last thing I highlighted. Do you guys have any specific questions that I can make sure we get answered just going into the contest? No? I am going to be trying the scorecard that was in that email that we talked about today. It looks like this. I thought it was a really neat way to just kind of keep track of all of the things. We almost every year we have someone who's not sure where their points went. And when you go back and try to work through that with corporate, it's hard because you can't really remember, was it February points that closed at commissions in February and it was really January? And so just being able to check these off, I think will kind of give you a better guideline of, okay, what month did I actually earn it in, if we have to go back and track points. So I am going to be keeping track of that as best I can on that scorecard sheet. Anybody have questions about that? No? Questions about helping your downlines, sidelines, any of that kind of stuff? For me, the most important thing really is just knowing what you have your eye on as a goal, and just getting to work and encouraging your friends to get to work and come with you, whether that's power hours or IPA challenges, that kind of stuff is really big. The thank you for tagging me in that video, Teresa, because you knew I would need that tonight on the call. I wanted to talk to you guys because we are going to do another IPA. And I was going to do it not this coming week. This coming week is the 3-day challenge on the Ignite page. But in the video that was on Plexus Worldwide, they are doing a recruiting blitz. And I kind of want to see what that's about. It's supposed to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with more details to come. So whoever comes across those links, I don't know if they're going to be live on the Plexus Worldwide page or if they're going to be a Zoom link. But if whoever comes across those first, if you would drop those into the thread, I really want to be able to use those as a place where we know as a team, okay, it's going to get crazy this week. Let's, we know there's something happening on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And corporate is going to be leading that. So we will look at those this week as well as the 3-day challenge. We do have the 5:30 IPA group. I am going to be hosting as many as I can in the evenings because we all work at different times. And unfortunately, I don't know about you guys, but for me, it looks like it's going to be 5:30 a.m. and then it ends up being 9:30 p.m. or noon over my lunch hour or whenever I can fit it in. So feel free to always, drop that time that you're working and see if somebody will join you. But that's really going to be the focus is IPA contests, reaching out to our new people to see if they're willing to share and just putting in the work. Do you guys have questions about power hours, IPA challenges, any of that? There's also supposed to be a perks call. I think that's really, really important. It's supposed to be a webinar through corporate. Kelly Godwin is also working on a call for that. I think the more that we can learn about perks, the better. I have saved more people than I can tell you. I just had one today that wanted me to go in and switch her subscription. And when she wanted to do 2 slims a day. And when I went in to ask her to specify like which flavor of slim, she said, oh, I just turned off my subscription. I didn't want, like, I don't think she realized like 2 slims is quite a bit of money. That's quite an investment on top of the other things. And so she canceled it and said, well, I'm just going to go in and order. So I explained perks to her again. She's new. She's maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months. And I explained the perks to her again and just said, remember what we talked about when you started. If you're done, that's fine. But if you're just, you just can't order right at this minute that you're at your computer, or you need to change your subscription, just move it forward so that you don't lose those perks. She immediately went back in and said, no, I'm planning to order the 100 PV. I just didn't want the, whatever it was, 240 that it would have been with all her products. And so in her mind, when she was overwhelmed, when she got to the site, she just deleted it and thought, I'll come back and do it later. She immediately put it back in there and she's ready to go. So I think the more we can learn about those perks, the better. That's coming up as well. So there's a lot of things in the works. They also talked about the updated YouTube subscribe. I am going through, which is no small feat. I'm going through my videos that I have saved to Facebook and deleting anything that is on YouTube because our YouTube channel is so great that there's really no need to save things. I'm actually making a notes page where I note the name and the person who did the video and sort of categorizing them. Like, here's the 3-day challenge, here's the silver info, here's this, and writing down names and the name of the videos rather than saving the actual video. Because for one, it's clogging up my phone. And for two, it's just easier to be able to then, as I go back and find them, put that link in my notes so that I have the link to the YouTube video and I'm not having to store 1,000 videos. So anyway, if you have not checked out the new Plexus YouTube, it's awesome. Make sure that you subscribe. It will send you a notification every time they do a new video. Let's see. There was one more thing. Oh, and I think Ryan slipped with that last piece. I don't know about that.
I do too.
Ryan slipped, and Genevieve sort of looked at him like, I don't think they're supposed to know that yet. But they are coming out with a 3-day Joyome sample. And
Both of them. It sounded like it was going to be the serums and the
whatever is coming. Yeah, and there's something coming with Joyome. I'm really hoping it's a clean cleanser. That only makes sense to me that if we're going to do the rest, we need a clean cleanser. So there's some things with Joyome coming out. Tomorrow they are announcing another new product that our vegan friends will love. I'm very excited to see what that is. There was chocolate in the picture. So I don't know, we'll see. But be on the lookout for that tomorrow as well. If it's what I think it's going to be, it will be loved by more than just vegans, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't have any inside scoop just from being at Jewel Training and being at, where the products are developed. So there's some exciting things coming out, but really just staying focused on the basics, the 3 people on 3 products for 3 months and reaching out to people consistently is really where that focus is going to be. Any questions about that? Okay, so I am going to switch completely to a totally different topic. So many of you know I have been working on systems in my head for longer than I care to admit, a really, really long time. And I just have never found something that I felt like worked for everyone. And I will start by saying I am not an organized person. I'm just not. I don't like spreadsheets. I am organized, like I can find my things. I'm not forgetful. But to someone who is truly organized, I am a walking disaster. So those kinds of things, no, I really am. Those kind of things they're not fun to me. Like I really kind of run from them to begin with. And so I have struggled with any kind of system for IPA and things like that, because I feel like we all do it different. And even when you have a system, life happens. And so, I may not be able to do it the way I want to do it this month. And again, our focus is really about celebrating the action, not about being perfect, not about reaching a standard. And so through a whole bunch of crazy, intense learning, I feel like I have a little something that will really help us. And so I'm going to put it out to you guys. I'm going to talk about it tonight. I'm going to put it out to you. If you guys will put your email in the runners thread, I will send it to you. The reason I want it sent to you guys first is because I really want feedback on it before we just throw it out and say, this is what it looks like. So I am completely 100% okay with brutal feedback. It doesn't faze me in the least. Please be honest. I want it to be something that works for as many people as we can. So I came up with a Pink Pack IPA tracker. This is kind of what it looks like. I'm going to walk you guys through it. It is meant to be done for a week. So you have a page and all of the income producing activity for that week is on the page. Bob Heilig said some really great things in the training that really kind of helped spark this and bring it all together for me. And one of them, before I get started with this, because I know you're going to ask why it's not on here, is posting. Posting is not on this IPA tracker because what Bob said really resonated with me. And I feel like we've been saying that a lot, but maybe we haven't been training in that way. And that is that posting is not income producing activity. It is marketing. So you guys have heard me say when you're posting, it is your I'm open for business sign. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be attracting new people simply because you post. So posting is not a part of the IPA tracker, although it is something that you need to do consistently. I chose to leave it off because I feel like a lot of times it's scary in the beginning and then it just becomes really simple to just put a post up and walk away. and think, okay, I did my work today, and that's really not the work. So posting's not on here. We start with goals. You list your monthly goal, and then you list your goal this week. How do we break down our month goal into this week? So if I'm going to do IPA 5 days a week, then this week I'm going to do it on which days? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it gives you a spot to sort of write out how are you gonna make that monthly goal happen this week. The first to do is asks. And what an ask is, it is simply you saying, would you like to know more? It's an invitation to learn a little bit more about the products and the opportunity. Behind the word asks, it says minimum baseline. This one is really, really important to me. This is where you get to set your own goal for that week. So we have all been trained in 5 new, 3 follow-up, 1 training. There's a million systems. 10 messages a day, 5 messages a day. There's something in all of our brains about whatever that standard is. That minimum baseline is what Bob Heilig talks about. I want you guys to decide every single week based on your life, what is my minimum baseline? Is it 1 ask a day? Is it 5 asks a day? Is it 10 asks a day? Because this is all about being in alignment with everything else also. So I want you guys to know, yes, if you want your business to grow, you have to do the work. But how much work you're doing, you can adjust based on your life that week and feel good about meeting your goals. So when it says minimum baseline, there's a line there. That's for you to fill in. This week, what is my minimum baseline for asks? And then it gives you a bunch of blank lines. In those blank lines, you will write the person's name. The reason that's important is because a lot of times you won't hear back from them. And so you need to know that you've reached out to them and you won't hear back. Out of every 20 messages I send, I might be lucky to get 1 or 2 if it's the very first time I've reached out to them. So that is a way where you can track the names of who you've reached out to, okay? The next part says, they said yes, now what? So this is where we go into send, share, invite. This is what Plexus Corporate teaches us. There's a tremendous amount of things, resources in our back office for this. That is where you are going to write their name again. So let's say I reach out to Teresa, Jenna, and Shannon. Their name is going to go in the ask boxes because I reached out and asked them if they wanted more information. When they respond and say yes, it's also important that you put their name in the send box because now I know, okay, I'm in a discussion with them. We're having a conversation. I don't want to forget to interact with them and leave them hanging. So some of those asks will come down into the send column. That's where you're going to send them third-party tools, a video, a story. Maybe you put them in a 3-way chat if they have specific health goals that you need help answering. Maybe you send them a sample, but this is the section where you're going to send them to a third-party tool of some sort. Okay, then you're going to share. I tweaked this a little bit. Sharing on this page is product recommendations because the sharing piece in our send, share, invite makes me very, very nervous because we have lots of people who get stuck in relationship building and don't move to that next step. And so sharing can be you share a testimony and then you share a documentary and then you share a little of this and you're forever sharing. So while all of those things can also be shared, I moved those into I put all of that into the send step. Sharing is product recommendations. So you've sent them their third-party tool, their sample, their video, their story, you put them in a chat, whatever their third-party tool is. As they finish that, then you're going to make a product recommendation. You're talking to them about their needs. I love to use the graphics that show the welcome pack and then it lists underneath each product that's in it and in like a really cool kind of graphic. We have those on Pink Pack. I do need to update them and take the old ones out, but I literally just send a picture and say, here are the 2 combos that I would recommend for you and here's what they're going to do. Okay. The third step is invite them. Maybe, you're stuck at the product recommendation, you're not hearing anything from them. You can invite them to a belief call, a product call, an online event, a 3-day challenge, a sip and see. There is always some event happening, especially online. But this is also where you can invite them to join you with a welcome pack to specifically say, are you ready to get started? Let's do this. That is also in the invite piece. So that's all step one, and that's really one step. So you may have 10 asks one day and 2 sends and no shares and no invites. It just kind of depends on where your funnel is at. So those are not all blanks that you fill every day. They're kind of a work in progress throughout the week, which is why I made it for a week. Step 2 is follow-up. And again, there's a minimum baseline there. How many follow-ups do I want to do? You will learn very quickly. If you are reaching out to 10 people and following up, all of a sudden you're going to have 1 million follow-ups, because a follow-up is anyone that you've reached out to, not just the people that responded. So anyone that was an ask is also a follow-up. Okay, and I have a paper that's going to go with this, so you don't have to write any of this down. The third step is adding friends on social media. Again, there's a minimum baseline. What does that look like for you? Are you growing that group of people following your story slowly, or are you growing it quickly? There's a goal there for that. Checking in on new people, and I put weekly, more if needed. Who are your new people? Guys, sometimes that's really hard to keep up with, because sometimes we are trained that you keep up with them for the first 4 weeks and then they're done. That has not been my experience. I have had a lot of people that take more than 1 month to get through that detox, die off, really get settled into a routine. And so I'm carrying people in that weekly check-in for several months right now, which is fine, but there's a spot there. So at the end of the week, all of your people should be in that spot where you can say, I'm not going to reach out to them all on Monday, but I'm going to reach out to this many on Monday and this many on Tuesday and this many on Wednesday, so that at the end of the week, I've touched base with everyone. Okay. The next one is more of a business piece. I wish someone had told me this sooner in my business than I learned it. So I'm going to tell you guys and hope that you learn from my mistake. The number 5 is working in your back office. It can literally take 2 minutes, but it is super important to be able to do. And it is to list your current PV, your points, your ads, your outside leg points. Those are important things for you to know. And it lists it for you. All you have to do is put the numbers in. The blanks are there. The topic is there. Just write them in. You don't have to analyze it. You don't have to think about it. The purpose of that is to be able to go back and see, what was I doing last January? Okay, in the last 90 days, what has happened? When you start getting a little bit higher, usually probably around Ruby, when you start looking for those ranks at Ruby and higher, you actually start building and planning for those rank ups 90 days out. So to be able to go back 90 days and see some patterns in your business really helps you to be able to figure out, what can I predict in the next 30 or 60 days? So trust me, if you're new, it's not going to matter to you at all. It's just a really great habit to be in, and you will thank me later to just plug those numbers in and have them. I also put check in with a wholesaler or a business builder. One person each day, check in with them. It is so hard between staying in touch with your business people and staying in touch with your new people. Sometimes we forget about those wholesalers, especially the ones we're related to reach out to them and say, hey, how are you doing on your products? What does that look like? So there's a spot there for you to just write somebody's name. And again, you don't have to do any Monday through Thursday, and on Friday, you can reach out to all 5 wholesalers and be done with those blanks. But it helps you to know, when was the last time I reached out to Teresa. The last one is perks points, your perks report, and it's sort of like the PV. You're going to go into that report. It lists their name, whether they went under 100 or whether they turned off their subscription, how many perks points they have to forfeit, how many days are left, and if you contacted their sponsor or not. So that you can say, okay, these are the people that had 3 days left. This was their perks. I reached out to Shannon and told her, done. Did that for the next 3 days. Any questions? I know it's hard because you don't have it in front of you. I will send it to you. That's the actual tracker that you would use each week. In the explanation of it, it gives you sample messages. So in the explanation page, under the asks, it gives you 3 examples of an ask message. Very basic. There is no reason to reinvent the wheel on ask messages. Use the same ones that you like all the time. It gives you the video links when you're sharing. There's some video links. We can add to that. We can put Diamond Docs, things like that in there as well. The sharing product recommendations, it lists for you specifically things like you absolutely cannot go wrong recommending the triplex. Everybody on the planet can benefit from triplex, so when in doubt, use triplex. But then it will go through some varying suggestions that they talked about at Super Saturday if you went. If you're looking for this, you can recommend this. The invite piece is just, again, explaining what does that all mean. What's a sip and see? What's a product call? Things like that. The follow-up piece has specific messages in it, but it also gives you ideas like follow-ups typically come in the form of messages, but you can also reach out to people who have liked or commented on your posts. Maybe following up with your people who have birthdays. You can even follow up by commenting on their posts and engaging with them. That is a form of follow-up. It puts them into your feed. You are interacting with them in authentic ways. I count that as a follow-up. And then it gives you some examples of wording that you can say. If you've sent a video or a testimony, then what do I say when I follow up with them the next time? There's some actual scripts that you can use. And again, there's no reason to make those, novel. Ask them, what did you think? Was there something that resonated with you? Did anything pique your interest? I love how they talked about all the ways that gut health impacts our life. What did you like about the video? Super simple, easy things. And of course, you can always add to it. I just wanted them to be basic things, which is my gift. I'm about as straightforward in a message as it comes. So just know those are baseline. If you need to add more, add to it. The adding friends on social media, again, it just talked about why that's important. Checking in on people, it gives you a sample week 1 message, a week 2 message, a week 3 message, and a week 4 message. And then the last 2, the current PV, the back office stuff, it explains why that's important and what you will use it for down the road. So I am super excited to see what you guys think of this. If it does not work, it is fine. My biggest hesitation is just putting it out into the universe, to be honest, because we all work so differently, and I want it to be purposeful for everyone. So would love any feedback that you guys have just by listening to what I was sharing, and I'll make corrections before I send it out to you guys. Thoughts about the process? Did I overwhelm you? Do you not want to be in a box like that? Is it helpful?
I think it's going to be awesome. Are you seeing us then taking some of the names that we used the first week and then adding them to the sheet the second week, or just starting a clean week?
It's up to you.
Okay.
So for example, if I do a chicken lister as an ask, they are not going on my list the next week. But I might highlight them and go back in a month or 2 or 3 and go, right. Oh yeah, those are my chicken listers. Okay, I'm going to go back and put them on the list. So
I love this because we're going to be able to keep it in a 3-ring binder and keep it rather than lose the sheet of paper we were.
Well, my goal is that if it really, really works, then we'll go get them like professionally bound and I'll send them to you so that we have them. But because there's nothing I hate worse than carrying around a binder. Like I just can't. It's all like, I don't know. I don't like it. I'd like things that like I can roll up and have just this size. So we will work on that, but that's the beauty of it. It can be however you want it to work, Teresa. For me, sometimes people are an every month ask because they've engaged in a conversation with me and then they just like fell off the face of the earth. If you've told me yes, we're going to have a conversation every single month. And some people are 4 years into that conversation every single month. But, you know, that's what it looks like. Other people, if I've never gotten a response, I'm going to wait longer to reply back to them. And I think that just comes back to your own gut. Does it feel right now to reach back out to that person, or does it not? And, you know, the last thing we want to do is just randomly send spammy messages. If it doesn't feel right, there's a reason it doesn't feel right. Just like when I say, if I'm driving down the road and somebody pops into my head, there's a reason they're popping into my head. Reach out to them. Like, do not wait to reach out to those people. So we can work that as we go, but my hope is that you guys can manipulate it in whatever systems you already have, because some of you have really structured systems and I do not want to mess with that either. I just know for me, if one of you came on and gave me a spreadsheet, I'm turning my video off. It's not happening. It's not going to happen. Done. Don't tell me to go to the spreadsheet. But I think this is something that I can keep up with because it's similar to what I already do. Right now I use my calendar. So, you know, it's a simple way to do that. Anybody else have thoughts? Questions, ideas? No? All right. Did you guys send me your emails? Make sure you do that so that I can send you this if you want feedback, if you want to give feedback before it's final. So, all right, that is all I have for you guys. Do you guys have questions, specific scenarios that you're working through with somebody that you kind of want to throw out to the group and see what they think? The floor is yours for questions.
I would like to welcome Kim Peters to the call. She's one of our new business builders on our team.
Well, hi, Kim Peters. Welcome. Sure, I'm totally overwhelmed hearing that conversation.
Yeah, we were texting.
Kim, that is not how it normally goes, I promise. It's not at all like that. Just forget that any of that happened. Starting fresh. You know, it reminds me of my very first yoga class. I had a friend probably 6 or 7 years ago now that owns a yoga studio. And she was like, you have to come to yoga. You have to come to yoga. I was terrified. So I go to the first class. The instructor was originally from India, taught yoga in India. And the entire class we were blindfolded the entire class. Yes. So when she was saying like warrior 1 and warrior 2, okay, I have no, like, what is that? And I made it. So Kim, that kind of reminds me of this call. I promise you they're not all that in depth, and it will make sense. But anyway, if you guys don't have any questions, that's all I have. Who's excited for convention contest and all the things? I think I forgot to mention that some of the prizes you have to be present at convention to win. Some of them you only have to be registered to win. So make sure that you are registering for convention, even if you are not planning to go. We will have more details about that later. Like as we start accumulating points, they will let us know which prizes you have to be present for and which ones you don't. For example, like sometimes things like winner's dinner, if you can't go, they'll cash that out as a cash value. And other times they will say, no, you have to be present to win that one. So that's just an example, but make sure that you register for convention.
And you really want to go anyway.
Yes, you do, for sure. And I've said this already, I will say it again. If you can get to Nashville, if you can find a flight, we will find a place for you to sleep. Do not feel like you have to get 4 days of a hotel room by yourself. We pile into hotel rooms and make it very doable for everyone. So
Yep.
if you are someone who is thinking about convention and looking at the cost breakdown, really the biggest cost is the flight to get there. There are lots of team dinners, and we always have groceries in our room as far as bars and things like that. So the biggest expense is really just getting yourself there, and communicating with your sponsor about the rest as far as room. So we would love
to
have
share rooms and
there.
trip over one another and share the bathroom.
Yes, that's just part of it. It's just part of it. Good team culture, right? Good team bonding. Yep. So, all right, ladies, I hope you guys have a great week. I am planning to do an IPA sometime tomorrow. I have the day off. So I'm hoping it'll be early afternoon, but if not, it will be tomorrow night. So stay tuned for that. If you are planning to put in some IPA tomorrow, I will be dropping a time sometime tomorrow morning. So, all right, have a great week, friends.
Thank you.